The topic that I had originally planned on doing a video on for this weekend got completely derailed by events unfolding in New Zealand just recently. But that's okay because it brings up something that is worth discussing. 49 shot and killed and a comparable number shot and injured in an attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch. And the usual suspects in media are generating all sorts of hype over it. Right-wing extremism is given the primary focus of blame. Never mind the fact that in the shooter's own manifesto, he rails against conservatism, against capitalism, describes himself as a sort of pro-green eco-fascist, and thinks that an example of the perfect state is communist China. Not that I would expect the left-friendly mainstream media to really highlight that. A Facebook friend of mine came up with an analysis that, to me so far, makes the most sense. The guy is a nihilist, wanting revolution for revolution's own sake. His manifesto contains hot-button words meant to agitate those both on the left as well as the right. Contains words like race, Islam, fascism, communism, environmentalism, gun control, Trump, and others. It's prime material for each side to blame the other. And it seems like he was aiming to further polarize people against each other. As is relevant to this channel, political opportunists are predictably jumping on it to push for gun control. But this is playing right into an explicitly stated objective of the shooters, to get progressives to try to enact more gun control in the hopes that the backlash will further fracture American society and wind up with some sort of civil war. But I don't think Mr. White eco-fascist nihilist really understands American gun culture or the nature of the great American gun debate. It is not divided primarily along racial lines. True, more white people own guns than any other ethnicity in this country, but that's because there are still far more whites than there are other ethnicities in this country as well. By this very reason, there are more white voters than any other ethnicity in this country, and there are more white owners of refrigerators than any other ethnicity in this country as well. But do you honestly think that an attack on gun rights is going to divide us gun owners by race? Honky, you have no idea how many times homophobes have tried this already, presuming that NRA types somehow don't like the idea of people of color owning guns. Then we point out to them who is on the NRA board of directors, or that one of the NRA's most popular spokespersons is a man of color, or all of the other people of color who also happen to be NRA members.
Big bad NRA comes to Indy but runs away, afraid to talk to black folks.
We are the NRA. Everybody. So that's some bovine excrement, if I can say that nicely.
We don't have a problem with gun owners who look different than us. Take me, for instance. I personally dislike Islamic theology. I do not care for atheism. I disagree with Mormonism. I despise Marxism, and I think that LGBTQ types are aberrant, among other things that I personally don't subscribe to. And just because I don't agree with them doesn't mean I can't tolerate them or have them as relatives, neighbors, friends, or co-workers. I recognize any and all of them as human beings, endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and the right to defend all of the aforementioned. And I respect any of the above who take up the responsible exercise of that right, despite our differences. So, Mr. White, eco-fascist, nihilist, whatever you are, you might succeed in stirring up the more gullible among us, but you will fail to affect the overwhelming majority of us. Gavrilo Princip, you are not.